Alright, so this is chapter 2 about reconnaissance. Okay? And that's where your assignment 2 comes into play. Okay? Reconnaissance, the acts of locating targets and developing the methods necessary to attack those targets successfully. Are all attacks always successful? No, majority of them are not successful. Okay? What was it? Albert Einstein or Thomas Edison? One of those guys said, I failed, I think it was Thomas Edison. I failed so many thousands of times making the light bulb to learn what not to do. So, which is kind of true. So, you can check it. Okay. It says, may be extremely flexible and creative. Andy sent me a link about
capturing RSA keys.
Captured RSA keys via audio. It's like, wow. And somebody else sent me a couple links from other good links from DEF CON. I did post them in the videos page. So I've been adding them to those videos you might like to watch. Some are pretty interesting. But it's just amazing some of the stuff people come up with nowadays. Pretty much everything, I'm thinking at one point or another, is going to be broken into. It says, reconnaissance is not by definition illegal. Okay? These techniques are illegal. So if I was to drive by your house and take a picture, is that illegal?
No.
No. If I drive by your house and go, push on all your windows and find one that's open to climb in, now we've probably got a different story. Now, how about if you go to my house, forgot to lock the front door, so you went in? Still breaking and entering. Same thing as an open Wi-Fi. An unsecured Wi-Fi is the same thing as walking through the front door of someone's house, forgot to lock it. So it's still illegal. Unless it's posted as an open, free Wi-Fi. Not saying that I haven't ever borrowed any. Like the laundromat in Phoenix when I was there with my son. I really needed internet. So I borrowed it for a few moments. But all right. So there's, you all know what an organizational chart is? Could that be beneficial? Yeah, very, 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 very beneficial. And that's why I was retired Air Force, if y'all don't know that. We always had the recall rosters, and you always know who's in charge. That is, it's good, but it's also very bad. Because you know who to target. You know exactly who to go after. It's kind of tough. But, they talk about surveillance, they talk about social engineering, bribery, just all kinds of stuff that could pertain to people. This is pretty much a diagram of different things you can do. Okay. So I think any of you could fall victim to any of this stuff? I'm sure. I bet we all could, to one aspect or another. I bet we all could. Did anyone get affected by the Target? The Target credit card scheme? Sister-in-law, $5,000 charge. Virginia found out Monday she was a target because the Better Business Bureau posted a link, which you all might want to check on this. If you have a charge for $9.84, you are a victim. Virginia's like, really? Because she's going to school right now. And there was a charge from an educational institution for $9.84. Sure enough, it wasn't her school. So what they're doing is they're making a lot of small charges on people. And so check your credit cards. Look for $9.84. So, yeah, the odds are you can fall victim to some of this stuff. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, legal activity. It says looking up the information about a company available on the internet. If it's posted on the internet, I would say it's legal. Okay. That's it. But a lot of times, I feel a lot of companies put too much stuff up there. Then there's other times when companies don't put enough of stuff up there. Especially when in the customer service business, and you can't get a hold of them. I ordered something for Christmas, 2 items, and they shipped them, 2 of the same item. Ordered 2 different items. So I emailed them. Never heard a response back. Called them. This mailbox is full. Finally found another email, and I finally got a response. I'm like, oh, so sorry. We're going to fix it. Send me a replacement item. The same item again. Now I have 3. Same thing. Tried to email back. I'm sorry, this mailbox is full. Finally got it fixed, just like a week ago. But sometimes I feel companies don't put enough information. Sometimes they put too much information. Okay. How about if you called customer service pretending to be somebody? Anything wrong with that? I do mystery shopping every week. I did 7 banks last Friday, pretending that I was there, about my son keeps bouncing checks, because I had to find out how they answer the question about overdraft protection. So I was lying to them. But was that illegal?
You were commissioned by
I was actually hired by them to do it. But there's still, I mean, would there be anything wrong for you guys to go in or go down to OKCCC and ask about a class? Who's teaching the class? No, there's really nothing wrong with that. Now, what you do with the information could be an issue. Okay? Interviewing a member of the staff for a school project. Again, nothing illegal, but what are you going to do with it? Okay? What are your intentions? Physical entry of the facility, including attending a tour of the facility. You can do that quite frequently. I mean, very easily. How about hiding in a classroom in a lower state and spending the night here? Oh, was it last semester or semester before? They kept finding this girl sleeping in the engineering building. No, engineering's diagonal. Sleeping in there. I came in last Wednesday. I come in every morning about 6:45, 7 o'clock. Go make coffee. I don't drink coffee. I make it for everybody else. Sitting there on my computer, and a dude walks out of my back office. Scared the shit out of me. It was a student. He goes, "You knew I was here?" I said, "No, I literally did not." Yeah, because there was a guy using the computer. I said, "When you're done, leave, and shut my door." He spent the night. He goes, "It's too far to drive home, so I'm just going to stay here till Thursday." I'm like, "Oh, hell no, you're not." But then Tuesday night, after forensics, he was going to stay again. I'm like, "Oh, no. Can you imagine the liability? If Ken Dewey knows he's sleeping in my building, something happens, he breaks a leg." I said, "Oh, no. Trust me, dude. You ain't staying." He goes, "Yeah, but the security knows me." I said, "I don't care. You're not here for a sanction project." So literally, it scared the crap out of me last Wednesday. The only one in the school, all of a sudden the dude comes walking out of the back room. But, he was in the building. Now, he wasn't doing anything malicious. Yeah, that I know. And actually, that's another point. Because in the back of my office, we got all this candy and stuff that the Cybersecurity Club bought for a fundraiser that we were supposed to sell sometime, I guess. It's amazing. That stuff is disappearing pretty quickly. And the money's not going up. So I told Art that on the next Cybersecurity Club meeting next Friday, we're going to be giving it away. I don't want that crap in my office because it gets stolen and somebody's going to say, "Well, we gave it to Ken. Where is it?" No, Ken ain't watching the crap no more. So, okay. How about making friends with somebody who works there or used to work there? Again, it's no problem being friends with somebody, but if you want to befriend them to terrorize them is another issue. Okay. Questionable. Performing a passive port scan. Do y'all know the difference between active and passive? You ever watch the submarine movies? One ping. What was that? Hunt for Red October? One ping. They'll hear you. Yes. Yeah. Passive is you're not doing anything anything. A prime example of passive is, I was teaching a class up in Metropolitan Community College in Kansas. I think it was forensics. I don't know. What was one of the classes I teach? And no, it wasn't forensics. But the students were all teachers from different schools. They all came there to learn about whatever the heck topic I was teaching at the point. So we were talking about Nmap, which we're going to use in this class. And I said, each of you do a scan of your school's external services for well-known ports. Email, web, FTP, that kind of stuff. Just to see what's available in your school. Okay? That's all we did. We just did a port scan. That's all we did. Got done teaching up there. Came back here. Well, Cameron University contacted OneNet, who contacted John Primo, who contacted me and said, "Ken, there was someone," because we did it through the vSphere system. That your vSphere system was used to do a scan of the Cameron University network. I says, "Yeah." External scan, external ports. Yeah, well, they want to know why. I suppose it was a project, first of all, and it was an external scan. It's not illegal to do that. And I said, "Oh, by the way, John, I scanned Rose State as well." "You did?" He says, "Yes." "You didn't notice." So I said, there was 10 students and me, each one of us, so 11 different people scanned 11 different schools, one person reported it. So it shows you how much they look. Okay? It's one of those questionable things. They reported it because, hey, someone might be trying to do something. So that's why it's really questionable. Reading the names on the mail sitting on the mail card. Now, I think it was in this class last week, if I accidentally leave the test out on the table, You walk by and see the answers. Legal or not legal? I mean, it's not like you're stealing the test answers. But I could just see Andy, well, look, everybody, the test answers are up here on the table. That's when it becomes an issue. Okay. Scanning the documents lying loose on the desk. My desk has all kinds of crap on there. Now, if I had top secret data, hopefully it would not be lying out on my desk. That kind of stuff. Okay. Picking up the trash in the parking lot. I pick up trash all the time. Is that illegal? No. But if I'm doing it just to hopefully get something to break into the school, then possibly. Picking up a copy of the employee's newsletter. Again, most of the stuff you wouldn't think anything about it. But what are you using it for? Asking for a phone list, business card, product, looking through the garbage cans, war driving. Now, it was funny, we were at a forensics conference in Orlando, and a guy was up there telling about all the war driving he does. And Dr. Shnoy was like, not good. Because he was literally connecting to each network. Showing, yep, got access to this network. That's basically saying, yep, look, I got it in your front door. Oh, got it in your front door. Look, got it in your front door. That's not really a good thing. So seeing a network's one thing, but actually getting into it's another thing. Okay? Illegal. Developing a front company for the purpose of robbing or defrauding. Okay, I'm going to become a new supplier of something that Rose State needs, just so I can take all their money. Actually, Rose State had a problem there for a while. Companies were shipping stuff to Rose State that was not being ordered, and Rose State was accepting it. Then they get the bill. And not a good thing. So Rose State came up with a new policy. They don't accept anything unless there's a purchase order for it. That way went on to... But there's a problem with that as well. Now sometimes we order stuff and we ask for stuff that we're not having to pay for, so there's no purchase order, so then they get rejected or gets lost. You know, we have a contract to get cell phone cables from this company. Whenever there's a new cell phone cable comes out, we get it. Well, I knew there was some new phones out about a year or so ago, and I said, where are they? I contacted the company. Oh yeah, we've been sending them to you. He goes, oh yeah, we got one right here, and he told me exactly who signed for it at Rose State even. No one knew where it was. So I contacted IT. No one had ever seen it. Amazing. Come in the next Monday, sitting right in the middle of my desk. Nobody put it there, though. Somebody said, wow, check out these new cables. We're going to keep them. So, oh well. But, you know, stealing garbage from people. Now, once garbage is out in the street, it's supposedly legal. Yet I'm not a cop. I'm not a lawyer at all. But I'm being told once it's out for pickup, it's okay to take.
In public domain.
Okay. So, you know,
Like a
again, I'm
dumpster?
definitely not a lawyer.
Like a dumpster?
Yeah, once I wheel my dumpster out to the street.
I mean, like, yeah, a dumpster in a parking lot?
Well, that's still on the private
Still on
property.
property.
Yeah, that's part. But I'm talking my house. I wheel my dumpster out Monday nights, put it on the edge of the street.
Yeah, because the first 4 feet from the street line
Yeah.
is still considered public property.
Okay, so that's why I can put it there. Yeah. So. All right, entering a home or office to look for information. Yeah. Now, in my neighborhood, when they were building houses, I was walking through all those houses, up until the point where they put the doors on them. But I wasn't trying to steal stuff. I was just looking. Wow, check out this floor plan, that kind of stuff.
What if you had fallen and broken your leg?
I could have stole the copper too. So, all right, dropping a keylogger. Y'all know the Stuxnet virus? Y'all heard of the Stuxnet Iranian nuclear reactor problem? Some of you have already heard the story. Some of you probably haven't. But the Stuxnet virus, the way it actually happened was it was written by the U.S. I talked about it in computer security. It was written by the U.S. and they put it on the whole pile of flash drives because the Iranian nuclear reactor has an air gap to the outside world. It's not connected in any way at all. So they put this virus on all these flash drives, just threw them all over Iran, hoping that somebody would pick one up, put it in their pocket, carry it in, and stick it into the computer, and someone did. That's how they got it infected. So that's basically dropping a keylogger, pretty much, if you think about it. Okay, leaving a sniffer behind. Okay. Now I had a company who had an issue with email. What time? The clock is so low. Okay, it wasn't with email. Had an issue with their network. It would be getting very slow. So I worked for them. So they said. So what I did is I set up a sniffer on their network that would capture 100 meg chunks of data. So I can analyze and see what the heck's going on at different times during the day. So is that illegal? No, they hired me to do it. But if they hadn't hired me, that's a different story. It turns out it was the father, who could no longer own the company because he had for tax evasion reasons, but his 3 sons owned it, but the father still ran it. Well, the kids did nothing wrong, and they would get jokes in, get a joke in an email, and they'd forward it out to everybody in the world. So what ends up happening is one joke comes in, goes out 150 times, then went out to each other brother, which then received it, then sends it out to their. So I says, yeah, look at all these people streaming music. They're like, no one's allowed to stream music. Who is it? I said, Blake. Oh, that's okay. Blake's the owner's son. I mean, so again, that was a good use of it. And we also used the keylogger out there. They bought it. They had me install it because this employee they thought was doing something wrong. I said, did you realize this is kind of an iffy subject? But it is your company, and their employees know that they're monitored at all times. So I said, okay. But I could see that going to court and that being an issue. Yeah, so. But. All right. Social engineering says some of us are more vulnerable than others. You like that picture? Isn't that nice? That's true. Some people are just too darn gullible. I got a call yesterday on my way home. I just love these calls. This is our last call, and they literally called me. This is the last time we're going to be able to contact you, but your warranty has expired, and you haven't contacted us to renew. I'm like, it has? When does it expire? They don't know. They don't know. So I just love calls like that. But they want to get people to, oh my God, our warranty's expired? Oh, let's buy a new one. No, I ain't doing that crap. But social engineering is tough, okay? It says works for the most part because people are trusting and helpful. Kevin Mitnick wrote the book Ghost in the Wires. Very, very good book. Even my stepson read the darn book. Very interesting. I highly recommend you read it. It's story format. Some of the stuff he did was like, people fell for that stuff. It's like amazing. Yeah. Okay, it says the weakest link in a security scheme is the user. How trained are users? Nothing. Most of them are not trained at all. So I actually had a guy come in my office today asking about our program. Because what knowledge level do I have to get into your program? I said, really none. We kind of teach you everything if you take all the courses. I was telling an example of Kim Mayhall. I know no one knows Kim Mayhall, do you? Prior student here. She works at the FAA now. Back in 2004, 2005, somewhere around that area, I was on Channel 4 at 6:30 in the morning. I was interviewed, put me on a stool, camera in my face, and said, stare at the camera. When it turns on, start talking. Oh, okay. Kind of a freaky deal. But I get back to my office. I drove from Britton Road to here. I had like 40 voicemails. Like, what the hell? So I was just telling about our program. She called me. She goes, oh, my God. I was there making my coffee, and I heard your voice. You were talking directly to me. I'm like, okay. But she was a cosmetologist. She did hair and nails. That's it. She didn't even own a computer. She completed this, got a bachelor's degree, now does auditing at the FAA. So the point is, anybody can do it. But she was a user that learned. Yeah, we have, our secretary in the front office, really nice lady. But wow, I mean, there's some people you really can't train. Okay? That's the way with everybody, The user is the weakest link. It says, the success or failure depends on the ability of hackers to manipulate human psychology, contacts, and physical workstations. So this mystery shopping I'm doing, so the reason I'm doing pretty good at it is I make pretty darn good convincing stories. And I actually got something really good. Virginia's mom, she is a piece of work when it comes to money. She stayed and watched our kids over Thanksgiving for 2 days, and she left a bag of mail. I got this overdraft notice 5 times in one day. $7 charge, $11 charge. So I've been taking that to the banks and everything. Like my mother-in-law just really sucks it. So it's great. I'm playing the good part in it. And she doesn't know. She'd probably be very mad that she thought I was doing that. But the point is, in social engineering, you got to be good at telling stories. In this same class, one of the students contacted Eateries Incorporated. They own Garfield's Macaroni Grill, those kind of restaurants. Brad Johnson, our network engineer here at Rose State, used to work there. He was their head IT guy. Well, after we started doing this and he was in the class and he got the stalking exercise, someone called his work and said, hey, I need to talk to Brad Johnson. They go, what extension? It's like, I don't know. The lady's like, sir, without the extension number, I can't help you. We're not allowed to divulge any information whatsoever, which is really pretty good. A lot of companies, if you have a name, they'll give you the rest. But his company, no. What they did is then they reported the Brad, hey, someone called about you. Brad goes, oh yeah, someone's talking to me, and they got nothing from the company. But you know, so it's tough. But social engineering is a big deal. Impersonation. What would happen if I was to walk into your building with a brown shirt, brown pants, UPS hat, a package, and a clipboard? Yeah, that's all you can let me in. You're going to let me in. Okay? Kind of along the same lines, I was at a conference in Tampa, and the director of FBI was speaking there. It was kind of cool. But they gave us, you know how when you go to conferences, you get this stuff? What they call swag, I guess, just stuff. You got this little tape measure with a pen on it and a little post-it note on it, put on your belt. From the NSA and the DHS. Made in China. I'm like, you know, this thing is the perfect size. They could have hid anything in this device. So I was wondering, you know, did anyone actually check that? You never know. There might be something in there. Okay. But so, impersonation, you know, taking over someone's role, someone's functional level. Do you always check everybody's information? I speak at schools all over. And I always tell them, usually about halfway through my presentation, I says, you know, I'm here speaking to y'all today. Nobody has ever checked my ID. Other than me conversing via email with the guidance counselor about me coming out today, anybody could have walked in. I says, how good is that for security? So even when I show up, I said, I'm here to speak for someone. Oh, here you go. They don't check my ID. They don't look, nothing. So that's the way most businesses are. Now, some are better than others. I mean, just telling you overall. Okay? Well, I'm not. We're NSA, somebody, it's a little bit better than that. But, you know, it's just tough. How about bribery? Hackers can pit a person's greed and ignorance against the loyalty of his company. The guy who sold the TRW credit reports, I think he was selling them for a couple $100 a piece. Then finally sold his access to for $10,000. So he needed the money. People, you know, find people that need the money. You know, there's a lot of people out there that need money. So blackmail is a common tactic to get a target employee fruitful, or to keep them fruitful. Give them money. You know, all right? All right, deception. It says achieve access to information by joining the company. Okay. So if I'm really a bad guy and I want to get into your company, so I go and work there for 2 years. Get embedded with the company for a while, get everybody to know me, maybe I'm a bad guy. Okay? Conform. It says hackers convince the victims they have a lot in common. Yeah, you ever seen like 24 with Jack Bauer? Someone watch that? That's the same kind of thing. I mean, it seems like everybody in that show was a spy, wasn't it, pretty much? Exception to Jack. I think he was the only good one. Pretty much. If you haven't seen it, it's funny. Then you need to watch 60. Conan O'Brien, 60. Anyone ever see that one? 24 is basically 1 day. Each episode is 1 hour in 1 day. And basically, 24 hours later, 24 episodes later, it's over and he saves the world. Well, Conan O'Brien did 60. It was 1 second, 60 times for 1 minute. It was like, da-da. And next episode, da-da. And on the next, it was like, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. But, okay. So I see no problem with people getting jobs for a couple of years at places. Okay. I watched, it begins with P. The guy who they made the cell phone. What?
Person of interest?
Yeah, no, not person of interest. It was a new movie. It just came out. Begins with P. They're making cell phones and they're going to steal the cell phones from the other company. Well, same kind of thing. They have a guy. They take a guy and they get him hired on with the other company to steal their stuff. So it was kind of a reverse at the end. It turns out the other company was actually working with this company to make them send something to that company to steal the stuff for this company, so that the original guy could. It was like it was weird. Okay.
Good movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It says hackers become the victim's good friend. I'm friendly to everybody. Maybe I'm a bad guy. It says reverse. It says hackers project themselves as an authority vested with the power to solve someone's problems. I installed the wireless networks at Buffalo Wild Wings and more, and Edmond and Stillwater, a couple different places, and they paid me every month for literally years with no issues. They would never call me because there was no problems. I felt guilty, so I stopped billing them. I just couldn't keep taking money every month for nothing. They're like, oh no, everything's fine. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know, I just felt guilty, so I stopped billing them. But I did get one call from the Buffalo Wild Wings in Edmond. I had an issue with something, I forget what it was at the time. So I went out there, I show up, I said, hey, I'm here to fix your wireless network. They let me right back into the office where the safe is. The safe was locked, but they let me in there. And then when I'm getting ready to leave, they're like, oh, you want some free food? They gave me some wings and some chocolate cake and everything else. No one checked my ID. No one knew me from Adam. So it's just funny how that works. You know, I'm here to solve all your problems, so they're nice to you. Okay? Physical intrusion says foremost traditional techniques for social engineering you break in. Okay? Learning the schedules, knowing the floor plans, okay? Baseline the security procedures. Our school here, on those poles you see outside the buildings, there's little silver discs that they take this little thing and touch up to it every so often, and it tracks the guards, so we know that they actually walked around the campus. I guess it's so they don't just sleep all night in their office. I don't know. But imagine if you got access to that. You know the exact, oh, look, every Tuesday at 2 a.m. they're walking this route. Just all kinds of problems with that, okay? Since they can develop fake identification cards, there's a picture of a kitty. Isn't that special? Like the lady spoke at the, I think I even mentioned to you guys when I spoke at the beginning of the semester, fake IDs are cheap. And who's actually going to, unless you're going to get a traffic ticket, who's going to even know it's fake? No one's going to know it's fake. When I was in the military, anyone in the military here? Anyone been in the military? Well, in the Air Force, we had to, you know, when you're first at basic training, you had to do guard duty at the door of your dormitory, you know, and the guy would always show up. One time he'd have like a Mickey Mouse ID card or something. And the whole point is we were actually looking at it. But now, I mean, how many people actually look at the stuff we use now? A lot of times you just show it and you go, or they just let you in without even checking your ID. You know, it's like age. You know, there's so many mystery shops available for age. They want people to go in that are either underage or overage or whatever to buy alcohol and games and stuff. Because some places don't check. It's just amazing. Okay. So to avoid suspicions, never collect all the required information in a single user or source. Get a little bit from everybody. Okay. I ran out of Ziploc bags, so I went all around, and Larry had a couple, Mary had a couple, I had a couple, so I got a couple. So I got a. That's why you see there's different sizes in there. Okay. But same way when you're collecting information, get a little bit from everybody. It says never hold a position of value once it's ended. I mean, once you got what you need, leave. Okay. Makes sense. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if you're trying to break into Rose State, so you get a job as the cleaning crew? Wouldn't that be like perfect? I don't know if you know how Rose State works, but our last class, if there is one, gets out at 9:45. Every door is locked at that point. 10 o'clock, security comes with the cleaning crew, lets them in the building, unlocks every door, props them all open, so they can clean the entire building. And then when they're done about 5 in the morning, they lock all the doors and leave. So I said, why are we locking the doors at 9:45 when in 15 minutes they're unlocking every door? They literally propped them all open, and so wouldn't that be awesome? So that's probably the lowest paid position on campus, wouldn't you agree? The cleaning company, their contract employees probably get paid nothing. And they have access to everything. What do they do? We had the lady who used to clean the president's office a few years ago would always take the cans and everything. And they didn't think nothing of it. But she actually was collecting them and got all the money for them and actually donated it back to the school to Rose State Foundation because I've been collecting cans for 20-something years, and here's how much money I got, and here's a donation to the school for all the money of the cans. Like, wow. I just can't picture someone doing that. I mean, I really can't. But, okay. So it says the more valuable the information, the more likely hackers are working with the team. A lot of times it's multiple people doing it. Okay. Physical security is when it's not a possibility, they use communications media, internet, something like that, phone calls. Lady calling me. Yeah, the people calling me about my warranty, were they really illegal? No, bro, they were just trying to get me to buy more stuff I don't need. And they could have been doing it to get my credit card information to steal. I don't know. But it really wasn't illegal because they were providing a service to me. But I just don't know the outcome of it. I don't know were they just going to sell me that service? Or were they going to want me to buy something else? Or were they going to take my credit card and sell it? Or what? So you don't always know. Okay. Could be through the mail. Okay. Wasn't there something today, some suspicious thing was found at the Department of Agriculture? Yeah, suspicious powder. So the rest of you, you're all under a rock or something?
We're studying.
Study. Okay. Yeah, I guess it was suspicious powder found at the Department of Agriculture. But send stuff through the mail? I mean, the mail is still there. I guess the rates just went up again or something, didn't they? I bought some forever stamps like forever ago, and I still got them. So I'll probably run out sooner or later. But okay. So it says, typical attack. A victim receives a letter announcing that he or she has won a prize. They ask for your information, phone numbers, email addresses, so on and so forth. Now, the best company I've seen to protect against this is, I think, Discover Card. For the longest time, that whenever I would do purchases, like I remember one day I bought a diamond ring and a cruise and some furniture all on the same day. Kind of looked suspicious. They called me, okay? But they didn't call me and ask me. They called me and says, this is so-and-so from Discover Card Security. Could you please turn over your card and call the number on the back of the card? That's what they should do. They shouldn't say, hey, this is Bob from Discover Card Security. I need to talk to you about charges. They shouldn't do that. How do you know who they are? And even if they give you a phone number, it's not good, because how do you know where the phone number is? They told me to turn the card over and read the number on the back of the card. Then at least I'm initiating the contact back to Discover. So that's the way it should be done. So.
American Express just turned the card off if you purchase outside the zip code.
Yeah.
And don't tell them.
This last New Year's Eve cruise I went to Mexico, I bought some stuff on my credit card, international, and I didn't tell anybody. Oh, crap. But they actually, you got to make the third charge before they turn it off, they say. When I got back, I called them. Like, yes, if there's 3 international charges, that's when they shut it off without notification. I'm like, oh, I only made 2, luckily. So it's good. So we were fine there. Okay. Okay, so email. Email, you know how email schemes work. Everything. That same director of the FBI, when I was in Tampa, was telling us that he's no longer allowed to use online banking because he fell for a phishing scheme through email and basically gave access to account away. So his wife said, if you're the director of the FBI and you can't do it, you ain't allowed to do it. So his wife said there ain't no more online banking for him because he can't handle it. But, I mean, y'all know the guy that was sitting back in the corner last week? Y'all know him? He's the special agent in charge of the entire Oklahoma FBI. He's in this class. So whoever gets to stalk him is going to have a very easy job. His stuff is everywhere. But, I mean, he used to be up in D.C. in charge of the cyber task force. Now he's here. He's like, every day I'm sending people on these jobs. I don't know what the hell they're doing. So that's why he's taking the classes to learn. So it's kind of cool. He actually got, who's that head guy, like Eric, somebody was in Oklahoma today about something. Some big Washington guy was here. Yeah, James called me, some dude. I goes, I'm just now leaving Gokmogi because he was up there talking and he had to be there since it was big Homeland Security guy. But, but email schemes, everybody can fall for that stuff. Okay? Says the hacker sends an email prompting you to a legitimate, from a legitimate account. They can have you set your password, go to legitimate links. They can just have you do all kinds of stuff. It says phishing. It says users tricked into giving private information, okay, about large organization, and maybe just a little bit at a time. Okay. Here's an obvious phishing scheme. Your credit card information has been stolen. Just love that stuff. There's so many of them out there. Okay. All right, instant messaging. Not as much anymore. We still have instant messaging, but it's really through Facebook and stuff. Now, does anyone actually use, was it AIM or ICQ?
ICQ.
Is that still there?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was in junior high.
Wow, I haven't used that in years, okay? The attempt to become your friend. Every day on Facebook, I'm always getting friend requests from these people. I have no earthly idea who the hell they are. And I always look at, how many mutual friends we have, but still, sometimes that don't tell me anything. So I'm like, I don't know who you are, so I'm not going to talk to you. But they could ask you stuff that way, or telephones. So the lady called me yesterday. Again, I don't know if she was trying to scam me, but she might have been. Okay, they could impersonate technicians. They could say you're having a problem with whatever. Yes.
I had one the other day. A man called asking me what type of operating system I run on my computer.
Oh, nice.
I hung up on him.
Did I put the link up there? Okay, if you go to my
Microsoft too? Sorry.
If you go to my YouTube channel, I got a link up there about the scammer got into my machine. Guy called us here. He says, oh, there's a problem. We detected a problem on your computer. And we went with it. Oh, we recorded we recorded about 45 minutes of it, but once we got into the machine, we could record it. It's just amazing what they were attempting to do. They kept trying to blank my screen, but VMware doesn't support screen blanking. So all the stuff he was doing, he thought I couldn't see. He's like, so what do you see on your screen? Nothing. Oh, well, we're fixing it. You see him go through all my stuff. He's going through I did it from the forensics machine. This is the only one I could have really quick access to. Had FTK, NKs, all the forensics tools on it, and he didn't even notice. And there was no documents, nothing. He was going through everything, couldn't find a darn thing. Kept giving him fake information. Roy over there created a real quick fake identity, and we were giving him all this fake information. It was like,
Okay, I thought you were using backtrack or something to keep the screen up and everything when you did that one.
Actually, I didn't have to because the whatever they were doing, the VMware didn't support the screen blanking on it. It was funny, and he would bring up the command prompt, and if you know what the tree command is, that's basically if you do it from the root directory, it just shows you a listing of all your files. Well, he would go in there and he would do the tree command, but then he would be typing a bunch of other stuff. So that when the tree command ended, it would pop up, 427 infected files. I just kept hitting Control C. So it stopped the tree command, and you could see him typing. It was just hilarious. But if you get a chance, watch that video. It's about 45 minutes long. I'll try to remember to link it to this class. Okay. So steps to counter says, do not provide information to unknown people. We always tell that to our kids, don't buy candy from somebody you don't know. Okay. Do not disclose confidential information to anyone over the telephone. Do not type password. That's the second bullet. It's not really the telephone, but I've gone to quite a few conferences funded by the NSA. We're talking the big NSA in Washington, D.C., where they paid for my travel. Okay. I don't know if anyone's ever traveled when they paid for it before. You have to send them your social security number through email. That's the only way they'll accept it. It's like, seriously? So yes, it's the only way we can accept your social security number. I'm like, the NSA only accept email social security number. I just thought that was hilarious.
They know your social security number, right?
Probably.
It could be worse. They could have you just fax the email over, the social security
Yeah.
number there.
Actually, a lot of places accept faxes still.
And, okay. Here, I go pick up the bill of faxes. Okay, there's Ken's social.
Yeah.
Nobody
It's
can take it down.
nuts. So do not type passwords or other confidential information in front of unknown people. Do not submit information on insecure websites. Don't use the same username and password for all accounts. Now that's tough. Because I got so many stuff. Remember, I use something called LastPass. If you've never used it, you need to. It's amazing. But because that'll even tell you got 2 sites with the same password, and then you change it to, where did I go today? Oh, the reporting site for the NSF grant, which I got to finish tomorrow. But reporting site, I had to get a password, minimum of 15 characters, maximum of 18 characters, 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, 2 numbers, 2. There ain't no way in hell you can remember that. So you need something like LastPass to first generate it for you and then remember it for you. Okay. Verify credentials of people asking for passwords. Okay. Keep confidential documents locked. Okay. Lock or shut down computers when away from the workstation. It says, instruct help this employees to provide information only if they gain proper authentication. What's I had to do? Oh, I had to go into TRICARE today. That was another one had a stupid, MyPay, the DFAST retirement MyPay account. That's when it was. I had to come up with 8 security questions. It's crazy. So, y'all know my whole point about security questions, how that works? I think they're stupid because it's things like mother's maiden name, pet's name, favorite color, which people can get. My point is come up with something like chocolate milkshake. Put it on all of them. Because you get a security question that says Ken Dewey's mother's maiden name, are you going to think of chocolate milkshake? No, you ain't never going to think of that, and I can remember it. So I use it for everything. But some of the places require different ones. That's when you use chocolate milkshake 1, chocolate milkshake 2, so on and so forth. But I just hate those. And the reason I really got started thinking that way, I was doing something, and one of the places you had to do security questions. And it's like, elementary school mascot. I'm 51. I don't even remember the name of my elementary school, let alone mascot. Second question, elementary school newspaper. Seriously? Seriously? There's no way. When I got to that, I'm like, there is literally no way. And it was like, I had no other choice. I had to select it. So that's when I did the whole, similar to chocolate milkshake kind of thing. And it worked. It worked like a champ. So, but who comes up with that stupid stuff? I don't know. Okay. Dumpster diving is often the mother lode of sensitive information. The whole point of this project here is just so you can see shredding isn't the be-all and end-all. But hopefully, if this works right, they were shredded one page at a time. Now, if I took multiple pages, obviously the project would get exponentially harder. But so many people think, oh, I shredded it, I'm safe. Not necessarily. What if you just dump your... And the shredder, if you think about it, actually puts stuff in layers. So I can go through there, pull out a layer, and probably get a lot of stuff that goes together. That's what y'all are going to be doing. Okay.
You thinking a cross shredder too? They have different shredders.
Yeah, they got micro shredders now, which are like teeny tiny holes from a hole puncher. I know. But, I mean, cross shredder for most people is considered a very good shredder. Which it is. But you'll see some of the stuff can read quite easily. If you can't, well, you can get a 0. That's what. Okay. They look for sales receipts, paperwork, personal data, credit card information, all that stuff. Okay. Shredded documents can lead to data leaks. What was it, Mission Impossible, where they just took big old piles of it, dumped on a copy machine, and it did it all for them? No. I was trying to think of a way with an online class to get that to you. Because if I gave it to you before it was shredded, that would kind of ruin the whole project. If I shredded it and took a picture of it, that would really suck for you guys. Because then you wouldn't be able to move them. So I said, well, just come on and pick one up at one point or another. So I guess it's tell you shredded one of your own, but then that would be too easy as well. Since you just shredded your own. So, all right. Okay, drafts of letters are routinely left in the trash. Now, we have a shredding place here on campus. It's not always locked. But stuff that's important is supposed to go in the student services basement and locked up till it's shredded. Okay. Directory sheets, catalog listings, all that stuff. Okay, lots of stuff there. I don't know how many slides we got. Does anyone know? Make sure I don't run out. Hold on. Oh, we've got a little ways to go. All right. Okay, so where are we at? It says your policy must address what to do with it. Okay. What do you do with trash? What do you do with everything? Policy should address everything. It says best solution to theft of paper trash, cross-cup shredder, keep it locked up, or burn it. That's another good. Does anyone know you can take burned material and read it? I burn stuff all the time in my house. And it's funny, you can take a sheet of paper, a sheet of newspaper and burn it. And if you just burned it and it's like sitting there, you can read it still. And once you touch it, it kind of explodes. But what?
I ever did that.
Yeah, you did. But I do it all the time. I actually did it just the other night. I took something that came in the mail, just threw it in the fireplace and it happened to land, burned, and you could see it right there on top. I'm like, wow. Okay. Outdated hardware. You know, what if some MIT did a project where they bought so many computers off of eBay? It's like the very large majority of them had stuff on them. One of my old clients had some old e-machines. Finally talked them to upgrading to something better, and they did. Then they want to get rid of the old machines. I said, we need to wipe the drives. But they said, yeah, but they're going to donate them to this people. I said, we need to wipe the drives. He goes, yeah, but they won't be able to use them. I'm like, correct. They're like, well, no, we don't want to. They said, just delete the stuff. I'm like, it's not gone. We really need to, no, we don't want to wipe the drives because they can't use them. I'm like, okay, just so you know. You know, they could be selling them. Who knows what they're doing. You know, was it last year the big scam about copy machines? Y'all didn't hear about it. They were basically store your data. Even this one in here. Whenever I copy something, it stores a copy of it, but now this one deletes it. Comes up as a securely deleting job. But not all of them do that. Okay? All right. It says guidelines to prevent. It says develop a written policy, written recycling and trash handling policy. Use the policy. What to do with paper, so on and so forth. Erase all data from magnetic disks. I saw a top secret DVD destroyer. It was basically a stain paper. Put the DVD in and sand it down to a clear plastic disc. So, pretty cool. It says erase all data from tapes, hard disks. Did anyone see Google's disk drive destruction? If you go on Google, search, they have a video of the way they destroy hard drives. They talked about how many hundreds of drives they go through every day. They literally take the drive and put it in this press that's got like a pointy end on it and push it into the middle of the drive so it's like all deformed. Then they put it through a shredder. The entire drive is like that.
Like that. We have one out of the base too.
Yep. So it's pretty amazing stuff what they do out there. So hopefully their stuff is gone at that point. It says breaking CD-ROMs is no longer sufficient. It says you can put them in the microwave. I've never done that, but I know you can. Okay. Reconnaissance, internet footprinting. Find out what's going on. The hackers like this because it's clean, legal, safe. Look at people. Like, part of the project one is stalking people. There's a lot of information out there. Web searching, network enumeration. We're going to talk about each one of these. Okay? Web search. Everybody know how to use the internet? Like Google? Kevin Mitnick, when he was here, did anyone? Someone saw him, didn't they? Some of you, a couple of you did. Remember when he went to that one website, he had to pay a little bit of money, but he found all that information about that guy? So I'm a hacker, I pay 50 cents to get all the information. If you think about it, if you ever go to try to get your credit report or something, and they ask you questions like, how the hell did they know that? It's from public record searches. And if we use this ProctorU thing where somebody wants to take a test at home, the way they authenticate you is through public record information. So they're going to ask you information. Could you tell us which one of these cars you owned before? That kind of stuff.
County assessor's information just
There's
web pages gives out everything.
There's tons up there. Okay. So basic information is available there. Organizational charts. HTML source code. I love sites when you go to that have a form you fill out. Half of them are mail tos. Which basically you look at it and it gives you the exact email address where all the data is going to. So it's like, wow, that's kind of handy. Okay. Formatted usernames and passwords. I mean, KDewey at Rose.edu. What does that tell you about Rose State? What are emails at Rose State? First initial, last name. Okay? So, that can be done pretty much for everybody. Okay? How the pages are written, news groups, lots of stuff up there as well. Okay? Security websites. I mean, there's about 1 million hacker websites out there. Look at some of them. Look at all the DEF CON videos. It's just darn right amazing what some of those places have up there. Okay? Newsletters, cutting in information to hackers, says most of the time they're free of charge, automatically emailed out. Just be careful signing up for too many of these newsletters. You get to the point where you get too much information overload and you can't look at it. So you just start deleting it all. Okay, network enumeration. Find out information. Who is? Which class? Oh, this is friends. Oh, who is thing y'all did. You can find out contact information, name server names, mail server names, everything, SPF records. You can find out all kinds of information using network enumeration. We actually do a little bit more of that in this class as well. Okay, so the hackers use it to initially start getting data from a company. Okay, and here's one. The DNS stuff. DNS stuff was my favorite, but I think they charge now after a few uses. If I remember right, DNS stuff, after you use it like 4 or 5 times, they start, you must upgrade to the premium site or something. But DNS stuff works good. NW tools or network tools works good. There's a bunch of them out there that give tons of information. Okay. Tons and tons. Okay. So there's who is. Basically tells you who is. Hence the name. Okay. There you go. Who is the command. That's on Ubuntu. But under DNS lookup, you all know what DNS is? Domain name services or naming system, however you want to say it. It's kind of like the backbone of the internet. If you screw up DNS, the internet's dead. Because it's really that critical. The internet, does anyone know how many DNS servers are on the internet? Root servers? 13. There's 13. Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, 11 of the 13 got compromised. The internet still functioned just fine. But if all 13 had gone down, the internet would have been dead. That's literally how everything works. Once cache expired, it would have been dead. But DNS is, imagine someone taking your phone book in home and just jumbling it all up. You wouldn't have a clue what's going on. Okay, zone transfers. I used to do that. When I ran my hosting company, what I would do is if I'm taking over your website from another company, I would do a zone transfer to transfer all your website information, the naming information, to my site. Then I would take over ownership of it. People still do it nowadays. Most of the time, zone transfers are disabled by default. But still, if you're hosting with somebody and I was taking it over, I would contact them and say, could you please allow zone transfers to me? And they could. They usually do. They're pretty nice about it. But it's an easy way to transfer names back and forth. Okay? It says as a feature allows DNS servers to update its database. They usually transfer automatically to each other, like primary and secondary servers. You update one, updates all the rest. And it's all based on serial number and stuff like that. NS lookup is a very powerful tool. Let me show you this here real quick. Let's see. All right, I typed in endless lookup www.google.com. Now I know Google's IP addresses. And what's cool, if I do it, you'll notice the top one's 53, 24, 27, 57, 49, 26, 59, 35, 46, 42, 38. Why is it doing this? Does anybody know? It's called round robin. Can you imagine the people in this area even all hit the same Google site? It died. So what happens is anytime someone queries Google, those numbers is round robin. It goes to a list. So however many is there, it changes quite frequently. But you get a different number. That's why. But they are replicated amongst each other. I was at a presentation by Microsoft about their clustering services and enterprise services on Tinker a few years ago, and they were showing us how enterprise level server synchronization worked. You had two servers, did stuff running on both of them, and he turned off one. He goes, oh, power failure, server one. Left it off for a while, and the other one just kept functioning. Turned it back on, gave it about 15 minutes to synchronize back up with everything that happened. Well, power failure on server two. The other one kept running. So, basically it's load balancing is what it is. Okay? All right. But yeah, NS Lookup's a pretty handy-dandy tool. I was informed today by a student, by the way, that some of these times I do stuff too quickly. I can't believe that. Especially in Forensics Tuesday. You did a lot of stuff I couldn't follow. But that's why I record it. So you can pause. So, all right. And if you don't know this about the videos, a lot of times you can play them back at like 1.5 the speed. No, really you can. Because if it's mainly talking like that, because your body can hear a lot faster than I can talk. So you could actually download the videos and play them back at a faster rate of speed and get the hour video in 45 minutes. Because a student who used to live in Chickasha goes, oh, I listen to nothing but your videos all day long, back and forth to work, or every day. Yeah, you can play them back at a faster speed. Yeah, I start talking like a chipmunk and stuff like that, but, you can do it. So, all right. Almost done here. There's some examples of endless lookup, stuff like that. Okay, and there's host. You can find out more information about a host. Dig is another version for DNS. It allows zone transfers, collecting information about DNS. It's mainly on Unix-based systems. Ping stands for Packet Internet Groper. It's used for connectivity. It's not used as much anymore. Like Rotostate blocks incoming and outgoing pings. This is the thing that a few years ago eBay went down, and was it Yahoo? A couple companies went down because of a botnet was pinging them to death. Okay. So ping is really for checking connectivity. It's part of the ICMP, Internet Control Messaging Protocol. It sends out a request. It's basically, hey, Andy, are you over there? You're like, yep, I'm right here. But what if 1 million people kept asking, hey, Andy, are you over there? Back when I worked at that ISP, we bought out an ISP in Tulsa. And the guy screwed us over. What he did is, the very last thing he did is he changed all the secret keys. Didn't give them to us. So the servers didn't synchronize. They didn't synchronize with AT&T's DNS systems. The dial-ups didn't work. The moment we plugged in, everything died for a week. And it literally got to the point that phones would not stop ringing. Voicemail was full. Our cell phones' voicemails were full. I remember sitting there looking at my phone. It rang, 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 and ring, 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 and ring. Basically, it was overload. That's what ping is. Can you imagine so many people calling you to the point where you just can't function anymore? That's what happened to us. So that same thing can happen on the internet. Okay? Trace route is finding the way to get somewhere. The way that works is messages have a TTL, or time to live. In other words, they can go so far. Every packet on the internet will expire, and I think 128 is probably the maximum number. That means that every time it goes through a router, it gets decremented. So if it starts at 128 and cruising around the internet lost, sooner or later it's going to get down to 0, then the next router deletes it. Okay? The way traceroute works is, say I wanted to do traceroute to Google. I would type in traceroute www.google.com. It sends a packet to Google with a time to live of 1. Hits the first router decrements to 0, and deletes it, sends back a message, your message is expired, and gives me its name. Then I send the packet out with time to live of 2. It goes through the first router to the second router. Second router decrements it. Oh, you're expired now, and deletes it and sends it back. Now I know the name of the second router. So you can actually find out all the hops. Yeah, I can't do it here because row state blocks it. But when we could do it before, it was kind of funny because like here to my house in Choctaw would normally go down through Dallas, up through St. Louis. It's like I took I-40. I guess I'm going the wrong way. But it's just amazing. I mean, do that someday. Do a trace route to Google and it changes. Things change all the time. Okay? All right, they might show an example. Here's that's ping. Okay. There's there's trace route. Okay. But it's trace RT, it's trace route on Unix systems. There's an example of it. Well, they give us great examples. But they'll tell you how many hops it is. And I think they report back 15 hops, or 30 hops. Okay, 30 hops. But it's kind of interesting. You can kind of read from the names where they are. They'll have like, DFW for Dallas Fort Worth or STL for St. Louis. Be able to see some information about it. NetStat, network statistics, basically tells you if your machine's listening. Okay? Tells you stuff. I mean, you can actually run it and find out, hey, do I got stuff running on my machine? Like, this machine here should have port 445 open on it. Anyone know why? It's a Active Directory domain, a row state, and 445 is one of the ports used by Active Directory for the computer to communicate with the domain and vice versa. So we should be listening on that port. But we shouldn't be listening on port 21 or port 23, which is, Telnet and FTP and stuff like that. So you can actually use NetStat to see what your computer's listening on. It's kind of funny with so much stuff. Was it Yahoo Messenger? Years ago, I don't know if it still does. Yahoo Messenger used to, by default, install the file server. Installed Yahoo Messenger, automatically install the file server. That way, if someone sent you a file, it literally would transfer it straight. It made an open connection file server right out of your network. Probably one of the most unsecure things you can ever want. So if you install Yahoo Messenger, then you basically had an open port file server to the outside. It was scary. But until you look at NetStat, you're like, what the heck, I got this port open? Oh, it's from Yahoo Messenger. That's scary stuff. Okay? Here's how you run it. They're just showing you the help files. All right, so that's the end of this chapter. Talked about all this stuff and this stuff too. All right, let me stop this here recording. Stop.